In just 5 seconds, we are going to know how to sprite values in Angular. So what the heck is all spriting and two-way binding, and what the heck? Remember last video, we have gotten our two-way binding where whatever we pass into the DOM is what being passed into the property inside our component, right? So what if we want to take some action if this property is equal to just this or is equal to something else, right? That's where splitting comes in, right? Because just binding it to the DOM like that, we need to take some action, right? So that's where splitting comes in. So let's see how we can actually do this. If the value here is equal to just this, how are we actually what going to do? Take what actions are we going to do? So the way we do that, let's go to our app component .html, right? So this is what we got already, what we did in the last. So let me copy this. Okay, let me go to app component.ts, and inside let me create another data, and let me call it name. Let me call it name and assign elon to it, and then assign elon to it. Then let's go to app component.ts and let's copy this bad guy here. All right, bam, there we go. Then so the way we do splitting, okay, so now currently let's bind this first to this property right here. So copy the property, go to app component.ts, and then I've shown you how to do this already. So bind this to what the property right here, and let's also bind the property to the DOM right here. So now if we save it and go back to the browser, you can see we have gotten elon here, right? Elon here, and this is the first one that we did. I should probably get rid of this. Oh no, okay, let me keep it right. All right, so for reference purpose, so what we want to do here, because instead of Aaron or whatever we are typing, what we want to do here is, if the name is equal to justice, we want to show an alert to the user that, hey, your name is equal to justice, welcome, or your name is equal to justice, welcome back, right? So how are we going to do that? Open the app component.ts, and there are two ways we used to we have steps, two ways to do this. We can use it by using the ng model change event, or what something we call getters and setters. If you are from object oriented background, you probably know what I'm talking of, right? So let's actually I actually prefer using the ng model event because it's easy and simple, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to show you. Forget about the getters and setters, right? Let's move on. So the way we do that, we use instead of, when we are actually going to do ng change model, right, what we are actually going to do that, we are going to set a function at the back. You're going to raise some event, a change event that will be what, watching this value right here. If there's any changes in this value, it's going to what, perform some function, some act. Okay, so the way we do that here, we need to get rid of this parenthesis, right? So we bind it as a property, we use as a property binding, and the way, let's define an event here. Take note of this event is ng model change, right? The event of this guy, this directive right here. Then once the event is once we have created an event, you need to assign function to it. So what will happen when this event do? So what does this event actually do? Like, this is not a click event or mouse will run. This is a change event. What is meant by change event is it will be watching at the background whatever you type here. You see I'm changing the tab, so it will be changing, it will be watching at the background if the value here is equal to justice or something that you actually want. So that's what is meant by change function event, right? So what do we actually want to do when the value is actually equal to something? What you want to do is to define a function right here. So our function name, we are going to call it check, right? Check name. You can probably call it whatever you want to. Then let's input a parameter inside it, because event. So what the heck is this event here? This event right here. This event right here is the value that's what going to be passed. That is the value that the user is what typing here. So what we are doing is we are passing this value right here into the component. We are going to define a function and pass it into that function, and then we use that function to check if that value that we passed is equal to justice or not. That way we can what raise some function or do something. So let's actually go and then show you what I'm talking of. So copy the name and then create probably call it any, create a method and then call it the type of any. And then so what you see, remember this right here has gotten our this function right here. We are passing this parameter, which is the name, the input value the user is typing. So you need to pass it here. So let's say update value. I'm gonna call it any. Okay, let's make a value any. So what do we actually want to do is if the value that the user is typing is actually equal to just this, you want to what raise a function method right here. You want to raise an array, so we can use an if statement here. So we can do something like if update value equal to just this, show an alert, right? Show an alert like alert. Hey, the name is just this. All right. So probably this, you can see it when the array to be raised, but you will notice that this value has not yet been what assigned to this name. What am I talking about? Let me show you. All right, there we go. So you can see let's try and type justice in here. You see we got, hey, the name is justice, but you can see as we are typing we are not getting the two-way binding here. See, as I'm typing, it is not what changing the binding that we bind to the DOM here. That's probably because this updated value is not what binded to the is not assigned to the value right here, because remember this value this function is assigned to what change event. So this name right here need to be what assigned to this update value right here. Cannot assign to any, it is a constant. Public, okay, get out of this. This dot name dot value cannot assign to it. Why can't we assign? Cannot assign to name because it is what a constant. What makes it a constant? Any let me bring this down so I'm see what I'm doing. Name. Okay, so what you got to do is use this dot name right here. Sorry, this actually means we are referring to this bad guy here, and we are assigning this guy to it. So when you type into the DOM, you will see that everything will be what changing right here. So let's go ahead and type school, and you can see everything is changing. School is good, right? Then let's actually try and raise see if our function works. So let's type just this, and see everything is working. So what's the hack behind it is, go to app component. We bind the data together as what two-way binding. This property right here, name right here, we bind it to the app component together as what two-way binding. And once we are binding together, what we want to we now want to take action that when the value change, we want to change it to what when the value right here, this value right here, change to just this, we want to raise an alert. So that way, how can you actually going to know that the value has what changed? We need to what raise a change event, and that change event we can use ng model change. This will be at the background, be watching what whenever the value binded to the DOM what changes. So if the value change, what should you want me to do? Execute this function right here. And remember, in this function we are passing what the value, which is this value right here. We are passing it to what this component, this function right here. Okay, so if you are passing into a value, what do you want this value to do? All right, if this value right here is equal to justice, take this action. Alert the user that hey, the name is Justice, right? Already the user that hey, the name is Justice. So what this bad guy here doing is, we have, because this is just one time what assignment, right? Yeah, it has been assigned one time assignment. So what you want to do is, whenever the change function to this value right here should be what updated. It should be updated. So that's why we are binding. We are assigning the update value to what, to this change value right here. So that's all the secret behind spread binding in Angular 10. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.